Breaking news tonight, the deadly shooting rampage at an Islamic center in San Diego. 2 teenage shooters storming the facility. Children inside the building, the tragedy being investigated as a hate crime. At least 3 killed. Police say 2 gunmen charged the mosque and school. Kids rushed to safety by officers in tactical gear. SWAT teams swarming the area. Both teenage shooters are now dead. Our new reporting on this developing situation. Also breaking right now, hundreds evacuated from a fast-moving wildfire just outside of Los Angeles. Firefighters racing to save neighborhoods, plus the tornado emergency. Violent twisters demolishing homes, and the threat is far from over. Al Roker standing by. New Ebola outbreak, an American testing positive for the deadly virus. The travel ban now in effect in the U.S. What you need to know. President Trump's settlement with his own government, dropping his $10 billion lawsuit, but negotiating a massive fund to help those prosecuted under the Biden administration. Could January 6 defendants get a cut? The crucial ruling in the Luigi Mangione case over the key evidence found in his backpack, including his gun and a notebook, which can be admitted at trial. The police detective at the center of the O.J. Simpson case has died. What we're learning about Mark Fuhrman's death. Airshow jets collide, new video capturing the mid-air crash. The crew on board ejecting. How did they survive? Cars for Kids controversy. Those ads with the relentlessly catchy jingle now banned in California. The reason why. Americans detained for breaking into the zoo enclosure. A viral sensation, Punch the Monkey. And there's good news tonight. The 6th grader sinking this incredible basket, inspiring his entire school and all of us. Nightly News starts right now.
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Yamas.
And good evening. We begin tonight with that breaking news. What the San Diego police chief just called every community's worst nightmare. A deadly shooting at an Islamic center. We have late details just coming into our newsroom. We now know that there were 2 shooters, both male teenagers, who are now dead. 3 adult victims were shot and killed. The images as chilling, though, as they are sadly familiar. You see here small children being rushed to safety, hands on each other's shoulders. A school is a part of that center there, and police say all children tonight, thankfully, are safe. This woman racing out of the building and law enforcement officers rushing her away from the threat. The police response, as you see here from our pictures, massive. Look at the row of police cars stretching back to the highway. And these officers lined up outside, heavily armed, preparing to go in. Police right now saying they believe this was a hate crime. Our Morgan Chesky is at the scene for us tonight.
Police and SWAT teams responding to the Islamic Center of San Diego around 11:43 this morning to a deadly shooting.
Multiple victims. Shooters are not in custody.
Within 4 minutes, officers arrived on scene and observed immediately what appeared to be deceased victims out in front.
Police with guns drawn approaching the building. Grade school children at a school inside rushed out hand in hand. Officers began going classroom by classroom to secure the building.
They did have to breach doors to get into all of the different rooms. Extremely chaotic.
One of the victims in front of the building, a security guard, seen on the ground lying in a pool of blood. Witnesses describing a confrontation with the gunman.
Supposedly, someone walked up, showed a weapon to the security guard. Security guard pulled his weapon. They started firing.
Tonight, police say that security guard prevented an even worse tragedy.
One of the deceased is a security guard that works there, and I think played a pivotal role in assisting from this being much worse.
Police tonight describing the suspects as 2 teenagers, both male, ages 17 and 19, found dead in a vehicle off-site.
The suspects at this point appear to have died from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. There were no officers involved in firing their weapons.
And officers describing another scene 2 blocks away, where the suspects apparently started firing at a landscaper.
There was a landscaper that was doing his work that was shot at and fortunately was not hit.
The shooter's identities and potential motives yet to be released.
We are considering this a hate crime,
Tonight, this message from the mayor.
I want to assure our Muslim community that we will do everything it takes to make sure that you can feel safe in this city.
Still an active scene tonight. Morgan Chesky is there at the perimeter. And Morgan, we know there are still people who were injured in the shooting.
Yeah, Tom, that's right. We know that multiple people were taken to nearby hospitals where they are still being treated, but authorities confirming again tonight that no school children were injured inside that Islamic center. And as we push in here, you can see that they've established a wide perimeter around that building here on all sides. I cannot tell you, Tom, the convergence of law enforcement that we have seen here. And back out here, we've just heard from two senior law enforcement officials. When they searched that car where those deceased gunmen were found, they did find anti-Islamic writings, but this investigation, Tom, still very early. Tom.
Morgan Chesky with that new reporting out tonight. Morgan, we thank you for that. We're actually following more breaking news out west right now. A fast-moving wildfire forcing hundreds to evacuate near Los Angeles, and we're tracking a tornado outbreak in the Midwest. Dana Griffin reports from the front lines of that wildfire.
Tonight, dangerous wildfires raging in the West. Thick plumes of smoke from Colorado to California, turning skies dark. The Sandy fire roaring through a residential neighborhood an hour outside of Los Angeles. Evacuation warnings issued as flames rapidly spread. You can still see flames coming from this burned down home. Firefighters are sending water onto the property to try to prevent embers from being carried to other parts of the neighborhood. Neighbors shaken by how close the flames got.
They saved our home. Thank God. The Lord just put his hand of protection over our property.
Noelle Hankinson says she rushed to pick up her 13-year-old son from school. The smoke close by.
I wanted to get here and get him, so scared about, the flames moving this way.
In Colorado, firefighters racing to put out this wildfire. Crews tackling the flames from above. This charred building still smoldering. Meanwhile, menacing funnel clouds tearing through America's heartland after a weekend of severe weather.
Wow. Oh my God.
This twister ripping through a field in Nebraska.
Breaking, roping, breaking.
Debris flying through the air as a funnel cloud forms. The damage in St. Paul, devastating, tearing these homes from their foundations, leaving behind crumpled cars. On the East Coast, sweltering temperatures setting in. An extreme start to the week being felt coast to coast.
Dana, let's get back to that wildfire. We see that burnt-out house there just behind you, but it seems like firefighters were able to stop it, saving the rest of that neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, Tom. At one point, winds whipped more than 20 miles per hour. But luckily, firefighters did a great job knocking down this fire, which is a relief to this community. Tom?
Dana Griffin there in the fire zone. Dana, thank you. I want to bring in Al Roker. And Al, we're seeing serious tornado damage as well. It's a violent start to the week.
That's right. At least 24 tornadoes in this last outbreak, Tom, and we've got more possible for tonight. In fact, we are looking at tornado watches now into late tonight, tornado warnings as well. We've got severe thunderstorm watches in the upper Midwest. For tonight, we are looking at 30 million people at risk, especially around central Kansas into southern Iowa. We have the possibility of EF2 or stronger tornadoes. 57 million people at risk tomorrow from Burlington all the way down to Del Rio, Texas. Damaging winds, damaging hail, and we're talking about anywhere from 5 to 7 inches of rain, so flash flooding is also a risk, Tom.
Okay, Al, we thank you for being here tonight. We're going to follow two major disease outbreaks that we're tracking right now. The CDC confirming a U.S. citizen in Africa has tested positive for Ebola. This as the crew has finally let off that hantavirus cruise ship. Here's Maggie Vespa.
Tonight, American doctor Peter Stafford testing positive for Ebola in Africa, according to the medical missionary group Surge, with the CDC confirming an American was exposed in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The agency now working with the State Department to move the patient to Germany for specialized treatment, along with 6 other exposed Americans.
How urgent is it to get this American to a place like Germany that can give them proper care?
I think it's very urgent. You can dramatically improve the survival rate.
Health officials stress risk within the U.S. remains low. Ebola is primarily transmitted through direct contact with bodily fluids. Meanwhile, stunning new images from the cruise ship at the center of the deadly hantavirus outbreak. Teams in full hazmat suits seen here removing bins, suitcases, even a mattress. The 27 crew and medical staff on board disembarking to begin a strict 6-week incubation period. Health officials say none are symptomatic, but in Canada, another passenger testing positive.
Clearly, this is not what we hoped for, but it is what we planned for.
Health officials say the patient is in their 70s and was traveling with a partner who's testing negative. Both are now isolating in a hospital. Back home, 18 Americans remain isolated and asymptomatic at the National Quarantine Unit in Omaha. As health officials scramble to contain both outbreaks, Dr. Ashish Jha, who served as the Biden administration's COVID response coordinator, warning tonight.
What we've seen both with hantavirus and Ebola is a CDC that's responding far more slowly, and the world is really missing that leadership that usually comes from the CDC.
And Maggie, I know you have some new reporting on the Ebola outbreak. There's a new travel ban in place tonight to contain that outbreak?
Yeah, Tom, that's right. The CDC banning foreigners from entering the U.S. if in the last 3 weeks they've been to parts of Africa impacted by this outbreak. And the UN tonight tracking more than 480 suspected cases and 116 deaths. Tom.
Maggie Vespa for us. Maggie, thank you. We want to head to Washington now in a growing controversy over the Trump administration's move to create a $1.7 billion fund to compensate people they say were wrongly prosecuted by the Biden administration. Kelly O'Donnell joins us now. And Kelly, this is all in exchange for President Trump dropping lawsuits?
Tom, this is an extraordinary legal drama that involves the president dropping his multiple lawsuits against the federal government, including against the IRS for a leak of his tax returns. But in exchange, the Trump administration today created what it calls an anti-weaponization fund, using more than $1.7 billion of taxpayer money that could pay out compensation to Trump allies who say they were unfairly prosecuted by the Biden administration, possibly including January 6th rioters who were pardoned by President Trump. Democrats are calling this corrupt and an abuse of power. Tom?
All right, Kelly O'Donnell at the White House for us. Kelly, we thank you for that. We have a surprise ruling in from a New York judge tonight who says some evidence cannot be used in the Luigi Mangione murder trial. Stephanie Gosk is here. And Steph, what evidence is in and what's out?
Yeah, Tom, you know, the defense wanted all of the evidence found in Luigi Mangione's backpack the day he was arrested thrown out for the trial. But the judge in the state case gave them only a partial victory today. The items discovered while the accused killer was still in that Pennsylvania McDonald's cannot be used in trial, including a loaded magazine, a cell phone, passport, and a wallet, because the judge ruled it was a warrantless search. But everything else can be used by prosecutors during the state trial, including the alleged murder weapon, silencer, and the notebook that prosecutors say Mangione used to plan the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. So now the state case moves forward, Tom, and it has a trial date set for September 8th.
Coming up at the end of summer. All right, Stephanie, we thank you for that. This just in tonight, we're learning of the death of Mark Fuhrman. You'll remember he's the former LAPD detective at the center of the O.J. Simpson murder trial. Ann Thompson has more.
People call Detective Mark Fuhrman.
He was the controversial witness in the O.J. Simpson trial. Mark Fuhrman, then a Los Angeles police detective, discovered the bloody glove at the former football player's home after Simpson's ex-wife Nicole and her friend Ron Goldman were murdered.
Detective Fuhrman, can you tell us how you feel about testifying today?
Nervous? Reluctant.
Simpson's defense team accused Fuhrman of planting evidence, being racist, and using the N-word.
Is it possible that you have forgotten that act on your part?
No, it's not possible.
Are you therefore saying that you have not used that word in the past 10 years, Detective Fuhrman?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
They then played a tape of the detective using the N-word.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime.
Simpson was acquitted, and Fuhrman accepted a plea deal for perjury. He served no jail time. Fuhrman retired from the LAPD and moved to Idaho. He wrote books about high-profile crime cases, including the Simpson case. He appeared on Fox News as a crime expert and hosted a radio show in Spokane, Washington. Fuhrman died this month. TMZ reports it was from an aggressive form of throat cancer. Fuhrman was 74. Ann Thompson, NBC News.
Now to those new shocking images, Justin, showing that scary moment at an Idaho air show. Two Navy jets colliding in the sky and the crews incredibly able to eject in time. Here's Jesse Kirsch.
Tonight, this new video shows another angle of that harrowing moment at an Idaho air show. Watch these U.S. Navy planes fly side by side before they collide, appearing to stick together midair. Oh. Their crews safely ejecting. We got 4 parachutes. Before this fiery crash. Remarkably, the U.S. Navy says everyone on board survived.
The plane crashed.
Another angle also showing the collision Sunday at the Mountain Home Air Force Base. Suddenly, the jets, an FA-18 variant known as the Growler, collide, shocking the crowd. In the skies above the fiery wreckage, those 4 parachutes.
I just keep seeing the 2 planes hitting and the 4 pilots ejecting, and that's what I keep seeing in my head.
At first, Ruben Villalpando thought this was part of the show.
They were supposed to have a pyro show there today too, but then I realized, I was like, no, both the planes went down.
Videos later appearing to show the plane's crews landing back on the ground. And tonight, the Navy says 1 aircrew member is being treated for a non-life-threatening injury at a local hospital, while the other 3 crew members were not injured. Meanwhile, aircraft recovery has now begun. Tom?
It is a miracle they all survived. All right, Jesse, thank you. When we return in 60 seconds, it's the jingle you can't get out of your head. But the Cars for Kids ad is now banned by a judge in California because much of the money isn't actually going to kids. We'll explain next.
1-877 Cars for Kids.
We are back now with that infamous Cars for Kids commercial, the jingle that probably just got stuck in your head the second I said the name. But tonight, the music is stopping in California, where a judge has banned the ads. Steve Patterson explains why.
1-877 Cars for Kids.
That Cars for Kids jingle.
Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
An earworm that lives rent-free in people's heads.
Cars for Kids, a business model you don't understand and a jingle that will haunt you forever.
877 Cars for Kids.
But if you live in California, a judge ruling that the charity has 30 days to pull the ads from state airways for violating false advertising laws. The lawsuit was filed by Bruce Puterbaugh, who donated his Volvo after he says that melody got to him.
K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids.
But he says he felt misled after learning where the money actually went. According to testimony from the charity's COO, much of it goes to a New Jersey-based Jewish organization, which uses the funds for summer camps, trips to Israel, even a matchmaking service. Puterbaugh's attorney saying his client's issue wasn't the organization, but that he didn't know who was receiving the funds.
Maybe he wanted to send it to poor, disadvantaged kids in California, which is what he thought the ads were doing, and it wasn't.
The judge finding that children, especially needy or underprivileged children, were not the exclusive recipients of the donations. The nonprofit calling the decision deeply flawed, saying it's well known that we are a Jewish organization and our website makes it abundantly clear, adding that they plan to appeal.
1-877 Cars for Kids.
Steve Patterson, NBC News, Los Angeles.
And we're back in a moment with the Americans arrested, accused of breaking in to punch the monkey's enclosure. What they did once inside. That's next. Welcome back. This just in tonight, a jury has thrown out Elon Musk's massive lawsuit against OpenAI and Sam Altman. A federal jury found that Musk waited too long to sue. He had accused Altman of illegally enriching himself off the company that Musk helped start with him. Musk says he will appeal, saying the judge didn't rule on the merits of that case. And in Japan, video captured a person breaking into the zoo enclosure for Punch, the beloved monkey who went viral earlier this year. Police telling local media 2 Americans were arrested. You can see a person in some type of costume scaling the fence and then jumping into the enclosure before being confronted and then removed. All right, when we come back tonight, there is good news, the buzzer beater that sent an entire school into a frenzy. That's next. Finally, there's good news tonight out of the Minneapolis area. A middle schooler who loves basketball, scoring a huge basket in front of all his classmates in a moment that goes beyond the game. It was a full-court frenzy. Sixth grader Wyatt News, who has Down syndrome, making this incredible shot at his middle school's annual student versus staff game. His classmates going wild. Wyatt sporting the jersey of his favorite player, Golden State Warrior Steph Curry. Even pulling his signature night-night move. Night-night! Wyatt learned about the move during the Paris Olympics.
The whole place went wild. He gave high fives, the sleeper pose, and everybody, the whole school community just cheered, and we really rocked it.
Wyatt's mom writing on social media, this was joy, this was belonging, this was Wyatt being exactly who he is, fully included, fully celebrated, and fully ready to take on the teachers again next year.
Is the teachers gonna win?
No, guess.
Do you think you're gonna win?
Yeah.
Who's gonna go down?
Wyatt's got game. All right, that's Nightly News for this Monday. I'm Tom Llamas. Thanks so much for watching. Tonight, and always, we're here for you. Good night. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.